we will now begin the Sunday service of Invitation to Happiness Season 3, Episode 3, which is the Real Exorcist. First, we will watch the episode.
The following program is sponsored by Happy Science.
Hello, and thank you for accepting our invitation to happiness. I'm Mariko, and I'm here with my friends.
Hi, I'm Yushi.
Hi, I'm Dylan.
And we're here to bring you episode 3 of Invitation to Happiness, this time on the topic of exorcism.
Wow, I cannot wait to watch this episode.
Yes, it's going to be a very interesting and educational one. But before we dive into today's episode, let's go to the streets of New York and ask the question, do you believe the devil exists?
I think there's a lot of strong historical evidence for the way that we treat mental illness to be a form of possession, or how it was interpreted, but no, not an actual spiritual possession.
I've never seen it personally, but I do believe in it, yeah.
I think to a certain extent the devil exists. In my life, nobody would have these terrible thoughts in their mind and kind of be forced to do things that make them not feel good after if the devil wasn't present in our world.
I guess maybe. I mean, like, I don't really believe in that, sort of, but like, sure, why not? There's some weird stuff out there.
Very interesting. So it seems people are not quite sure.
That makes sense because we can't see them.
Right,
But we sometimes feel the presence of them.
definitely.
So,
Sometimes it's not that people who are under mental illness think they're possessed, but their possession actually leads to a mental illness. So it's a complete reverse of psychology.
Master, as you know, he's written so many books regarding exorcism, devils, and evil spirits and possession. So let's dive right in. Let us learn from Master Okawa's lectures on exorcism.
Almost all of you might be feel that the possession is a bad meaning. But in the true meaning, it's not so. It's not so. The possession is a common phenomenon we watch every day. I mean the humankind who are living in this world with body, cannot see anything else without body. We humankind can see only the figure of bodies, and or if it's not a body, you can see material things. So you have to think that this world is composed of bodies and things, and that's all. But in reality, our real world is made up of the spiritual entities. The possession means the souls outside of this world come back to this world, and it make an influence on you because that entity want to say something to you or have some attachment to you or they are drawing in the dark sea or river in another world, and they don't know how to save themselves.
If you talk about devils in school or in the workforce you join after graduating from school, basically in the general communal world, or what is called the public sphere, I think it is pretty much normal to be laughed at and told, that is complete nonsense. For example, when a murder occurs and you're watching the news coverage on TV, if someone were to say, "What do you think? Is it the work of the devil? Did the offender get possessed?" I think it is pretty normal to be laughed at, or for there to be a lot of protests against such a view. Because of that, putting aside personal beliefs, the general norm is to not speak of it publicly. When they make a medical assessment, they discuss it in terms of the state of the brain or how their mental state is. In this way, this world is reluctant to accept the idea that devils exist. However, when you actually have all sorts of interactions with the spiritual world and deliver spiritual messages to the world as we do in Happy Science, you wind up having to experience encounters with the devil several times a year. In my case, when the spiritual path first opened for me, and I started receiving communication from the spirit world, I learned firsthand that devils do exist. And yes, this was a shock to me at the time. When a person goes on a spree of killings or kills a lot of people like in terrorism, most likely something larger than your average evil spirit is possessing them. The possibility is high in cases in which the tragedy is aggravated.
In the movies world, a devil can be perished by small swords of Megiddo, like that, 7 small swords, or like that. But it's incredible. I don't think like that. And sometimes such movies use some sacred water, holy water from the church, and spread the holy water to the person who are possessed with evil spirit or Satan. But from the standpoint of my eyes, it's not effective. They must be laughing about that. They don't feel fearness about the water or just a cross of the Christianity and Old and New Testament of the Christianity.
Yeah, so very fascinating. Master, he talked about, surprisingly, that the Christian methods of exorcism sometimes don't work as effectively as we've been led to believe. But Master Okawa, he lives a spiritual life. Every day he sees the reality of the spiritual world. So he can see for himself if the devils are defeated or if they're not by these kinds of exorcisms.
Right, so it's not just a theoretical, oh, those kind of methods won't work, I believe, but he's seen that it doesn't work.
And he talks a lot about exorcism in his book, The Real Exorcist. So in this book, he teaches us how we can become exorcists ourselves. We also had a movie by the same name, The Real Exorcist. So Yushi, can you share about that movie?
That movie, simply put, it's like a spiritually educational movie about how to attain happiness. I know it's broad, but the reason why I said it's so broad is because people don't understand that they are being possessed in a daily circumstances.
A lot of people think, well, I'm a good person, I think about others, but there are certain pockets of areas that are left unlooked at, which can create the possibility to become possessed. So it's really subtle, but this movie is so educational. It starts from one emotion, and that really captures you.
Now, to learn more about exorcism, let's move on to the next video.
Usual people sometimes think good things, sometimes think bad things. But people who make reflection every day can make their mind in tune with heavenly world. But people who cannot reflect on their lives and people who cannot pray for God or angels, they usually make bad saying to other people, that is dad or that is mom who made me unhappy, or that is bad teacher who made me unhappy, or bad friends they made me unhappy, or the school was bad, or the company was very bad condition in working every day, so they have a tendency to make the responsibility for other people, conditions, or environment. Please concentrate on your real mind and make yourself and keep yourself in peace and peace of mind. Can I find peace of mind in me or not? Or did I say something evil to other people? Or did I ask something contrary to happy science teaching? Or am I pride myself, or too much have too much pride, or not, or deep inside you and find the reason. If you never can find such kind of reason, just be patient and keep silence and read teachings and just do good things in your life and never proud too much about what you said. As Jesus teach you, don't let it know to your left hand what your right hand did. For example, you are doing your best and you want to receive praise from other people. At the same time, you have to digging a hole to throw yourself into it. So never think too much about evil things and other people's bad things, and concentrate on your mind and peace of mind, and please concentrate on your pray for God and wait time to let the bad people or influence of the evil spirit from you. When we have some kind of worldly desire and unsettled problems, they become stronger at that time. So when we fight against them, firstly, we or I or you, each individual must settle your own problem. It's a secular problem. I mean the worldly problem. But everyone has worldly problem. For example, the money or family or your house or school or your work or like that, some kind of secular problem. If you can, please make a decision, strong decision about your problem and cut it off. Please cut it off, this worldly problem. After that, you can enter into the sacred world.
For those of you who don't believe in these devils or the possession, maybe this is something that you can laugh it off. But from my experience as a minister, those people who are out there who's suffering from evil spirits possession, it's a matter of life or death.
First, he talked about self-reflection, right? Having a life where you can understand yourself through self-reflection, cut off the pride or arrogance which builds up. And then he talked about prayer. People who do not live a life of prayer, they often say bad things to other people. And then he talked about peace of mind. That is meditation. So we practice a lot of meditation at Happy Science, and the aim is to find peace of mind.
When you have a worldly problem, what happens is you're continuously thinking about that repetitively during the day. And as Master has taught us in the past, what comes to your mind repeatedly, that is your attachment. So my concrete example is one time I received criticism from my boss, who I loved so much. What happened was I was so insecure, and for some reason, those are the words that would come out, and I would forget all of the great things that he has done for me, all of the great things I should be grateful for. And the only thing that was occupying my mind was that one sentence of criticism. And then the way how I snapped out was by reading that book that you just introduced to us, The Real Exorcist. I was like, wait a minute, I could be possessed. That moment you notice that you could be under the influence of evil spirits, that is the way to snap out, and it worked real well, and I feel so much happier ever since that experience. And in Happy Science, there are many members who's experienced these kind of things. So in the next video, we'll be watching 2 of our members with experience of exorcism.
Well, I explored, for me, the exorcising prayer is kind of like, it's kind of like, for me, like a wave or forgiveness, you know, that is gonna illuminate all your flaws, your demons, you know, your darkness, the evil that is inside of you, and to be seen and forgiven, and if it's forgiven, it's gonna go away. So for me, forgiveness is very important. And also, when I first started to come to Happy Science, we did that quiz that tells you from which way you're from. And for me, I really think that forgiveness is what's gonna bring true justice in the world. So really, like, this particular teaching really touched me. So that's why I wanna specialize into like healing and really master the exorcism prayer.
You know, it also confirmed a lot of my own experiences of just seeing, you know, spirits and things of that nature. And Happy Science brought about a very thorough picture of how the reincarnation process works. And I'm not sure there's really a more thorough explanation than what Happy Science has.
You see spirits?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, even now? Oh, wow. Okay.
Since I was a little kid, yeah. You know, they all talk to you, and as when you're a child, everybody I think sees them, or most people do, and usually it goes away after a while. But for me, for some reason, it didn't really go away. I was always able to. So I started to differentiate at some point, you know, which ones were benevolent, which ones were malevolent. And then, you know, I started to, at some point, I gained an interest in exorcism as well, which is another thing that attracted me to Happy Science. There's a lot about exorcism. But approaching it in a Buddhist way rather than a Christian way, where it's, you know, the Christian view of exorcism, I think, is more like to just expel the spirit. Whereas I think the Buddhist orientation towards exorcism is more to lead it to enlightenment ultimately, or lead it to a higher place. You know, it's like I've had many experiences where I'll be going about my business and I'll suddenly feel something that is out of the ordinary. And I think a lot of the time that happens to everybody. And most of the time people will just probably go along with that new way of thinking. But if you're able to stop and be like, where is that coming from? Then that's usually where I would be able to isolate the source of it and remove it, you know, and reattune myself back to a normal state. I felt pretty soon after I became a member, I felt just a deeper sense of inner illumination. And it brought a lot of clarity to me in my life. I mean, I noticed certain, I guess you could say negative or malevolence, probably a better word, influences sort of have just dissipated. But there's a sense of, the Sangha, or like the spiritual community that I feel always connected to.
As John was mentioning, it starts from exorcism to enlightenment, right? This was the case of Shakyamuni Buddha of India, right?
Mm-hmm.
He attained enlightenment by exorcising the devil,
Mm-hmm.
and then he was able to teach the people.
But before that, did you know that Buddhism has exorcism? Where I'm from Japan, I kind of know that stuff. But when I grew up here in America, I don't think anyone knew about exorcism in Buddhism.
That's true.
Wait, Buddhism does exorcism, you know? But yeah, it's really deeply connected to our soul training of attaining enlightenment.
Knowing about exorcism and about evil spirits will give you hope, actually. It gives you the education to deal with what you are, experiencing. That is not just voices in your head. It's actually, possession.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think a lot of people think about that. It's not part of our medication or our information education. And it's so vital to know this. And
not only the people suffering from possession, but their families too.
yeah.
The reason I say this is because I saw this mom who was so afraid of her son going crazy, she thought. But when she met Happy Science teachings, she teared, saying, oh, my son is actually fine. So again, exorcism is a part of the modern Savior's teachings of love.
Yeah, and in that way, like BNL said, forgiveness, or in other words, mercy.
In the last part of today's episode, we'll be watching Master's lecture excerpt on the most effective element on how to do exorcism.
When you confront with devils, it's very difficult. So please fight with me. Fight with El Cantare and fight with other disciples. That is a very important thing. Don't fight only one person. It's very difficult. And please choose the place, for example, the Shiv Shoja or Shoshinkan Shoja, or like that, a sacred place. Please use sacred place. And at the time, and with another power, and with Lord El Cantare, please pray. You must go away, get away from here. Don't possess this person. Never possess this person. You are not allowed to possess this person. Please say like this. Strong words is essential. If you have enough belief in El Cantare and you have faith in three treasurer, I mean the Buddha and Buddha's law and the Sangha, I mean the members of Happy Science, you can be protected by saint power from heaven and from this earth. So please rely on Happy Science group and the teachers of Happy Science and teachings of Happy Science, and finally, of course, please rely on El Cantare. no one can defeat El Cantare in this world and in another world, because El Cantare was and is the origin of the human souls of this earth.
Yes, so Master Okawa, he gave us very essential points on how to fight evil spirits. Firstly, don't fight alone. And next, he talked about the place. And thirdly, he talked about the power of faith. Faith in El Cantare. El Cantare is the origin of human souls. So by using El Cantare's power, no evil spirit can defeat you. These 3 points are absolutely crucial when fighting evil spirits.
Yes, and we have countless books and lectures about evil spirits and possession. So you can come in, read, let us know your problems, and we can help you through it. Because again, you don't want to fight alone. It's more effective to, fight together with people, with teachers who know these teachings that can help you overcome your issues. And in a way, Happy Science temples are kind of like a gym for the soul. You come here, you work out, you get stronger in the mind. You understand the nutrition that these books of wisdom give you, so you work it out and you start, training yourself to be able to deal with these things.
Especially a tool called Kigan, or ritual prayer, is absolutely powerful. So if you are suffering, or if your friends or family, if anyone you know is suffering from evil spirits, please come to the temple and let us help you through Alcantara faith.
If you would like to learn more about Okawa and the teachings of Happy Science, visit invitationtohappiness.org or call us at 929-323-4737. Here at New York Temple, you'll find all of Okawa's publications and video lectures. We are here to support you in building a bright future. Come join us for weekly Sunday workshops and weekday guided meditations. Also, please find us on Facebook and YouTube by searching Happy Science New York. Your happiness is our mission.
Once again, thank you for accepting our invitation to happiness. We truly hope you enjoyed today's program and can learn many things from it. Next time, we'll be exploring the topic of channeling and how to receive insights from heaven.
I cannot wait to hear about that topic.
Yes, it's going to be a very, very exciting one. So see you next time.
I won't tolerate you, devil!
The preceding program was sponsored by Happy Science.
All right, thank you very much for watching this episode. How awesome was it? It's quite different from the past 2 seasons, as you've been feeling in the past 3 episodes that you've seen season 3. When I was watching that last part of this video where they show the locations of our temples in the United States and Canada, oh man, I have a dream of where if we start doing it in that pace, it's gonna take an hour to show all of our locations in the United States of America. I believe there are so many people out there who are in the need of these kind of teachings of exorcism. Like I said in the video, it's a matter of life or death when it comes to people who are actually suffering from it. And what's more fearful than that are the countless amount of people out there who are still unaware of the fact that they're being possessed by evil spirits or demons, and that's causing them to drown in this dark sea and dark river, not even knowing, feeling the pleasure of everyday life, feeling that they're successful, knowing that they're actually fine, but they're not, is the pain that I crucially feel from the bottom of my heart right now. I think some of you who are in this room feel that too, the ones in tears. But in my part, what I would like to go over, some of the crucial points to be able to exorcise demons and evil spirits. It first starts out with wisdom. So I would like to show you a little video animation. It's about in a minute and a half that explains what are evil spirits. So please look at the screen.
According to the law of the same wavelengths attraction, evil spirits possess people who share a similar mentality as theirs. That's why, instead of blaming evil spirits, we need to reflect on our own mind that is attracting them. This is the principle of self-responsibility. What is the mentality of an evil spirit? The mind of an evil spirit is full of jealousy, anger, complaints, dissatisfaction, pessimism, laziness, greed, and negativity. Evil spirits usually approach people whom they knew while they were still alive in this world. If you live with the right mind, not only are evil spirits unable to possess you, but they will be made to realize their mistakes. This is a great chance for them to be saved.
All right, thank you very much. So in that short video clip, it talked about very important principles. First and foremost, it's the law of same wavelengths attraction. So if you've been a Happy Science member for a long while, you've already heard this so many times, but yet it's still hard to accept. Because, have you ever noticed, have you ever caught yourself making excuses? Or justifying yourself, or having pride to get in your way to become more pure, to accept objective views, but you're so stuck in your subjective view. These kind of things we all have. We're all human beings. That is why this truth is important. You see, what's important about Happy Science is not for you to just acquire this knowledge and keep it in your brain and to be able to talk about it in front of people, but it's for you to be able to actually live it. And what do I mean by living the teachings? I'm going to go in more details of how to be able to do this later on, but in a nutshell, what it means to live the teachings, it means to be able to change your mind day by day, step by step, as if you are building blocks, one by one. It is a gradual step of changing the tendencies that you have in the mind. And when you have these certain laws like north on a compass, you know which way to go back when you're feeling wrong. And that is the sustaining source of happiness that Happy Science provides. So the law of same wavelengths attraction, very crucial
Very, very important, especially in these times when a lot of people are just seeking rights instead of trying to fulfill the responsibility. So please go back to this teaching, the law of same wavelengths attraction. If that's too spiritual for you, Master said it in other terms, it's the law of self-responsibility. Shakyamuni Buddha, Jesus Christ, all saints in the past and in the modern days, all successful people, they all know this one single truth, that you are the creator of your future. If that's the case, if you can accept that truth, the reality you're living right now, you created it in the past. That is how it works. That's why if you are going through suffering right now, it means that you have to change the tendencies that you had in the past. But before I get into more of this teachings, so you know how it says the law of same wavelengths attraction? It means the vibe you got, the way you think, the aura you have. So the easiest way actually to be able to switch this in my realm of experiences, I would say listening to happy science music. It is one of the easiest ways to start out in your journey of switching your wavelengths. And Master has given us two phenomenal compositions or music. One of them is called The Exorcism. This is the newest one. The newest one. You can download it on iTunes, Amazon, you can get the CD, whatever. Spotify, you can listen to it on Spotify too. But the subtitle for this music, The Exorcism, is Prayer Music for Repelling Lost Souls. Just a raise of hands, how many of you already got the CD or listened to it? Okay, cool. But some of them hasn't, so I'm gonna just play like a 30-second intro video. It's a Japanese commercial, but you can listen to the music of what it's like. And then after that, I'm gonna play another 30-second commercial of the song called The Thunder. A composition for repelling the coronavirus. I spoke about this in my past Sunday service, which is on our YouTube channel, about the principle of spiritual possession. Viruses are actually working under the laws of same wavelength attraction too. So if you have fear, you attract it. If you have anxiety, you attract it. So this music actually changes your wavelength, which hence in medical terms, it increases your immunity. But what's more important in spiritual terms, you are in a different place from the virus. So it cannot attach you or you cannot catch it. But either way, let us watch the two commercials back to back. Pretty awesome, right? Pretty awesome. Please download this music. I had a road trip with my colleagues over to 2 different states this past week. We were listening to this the whole time. It was just awesome. I mean, blasting this in your car, it's pretty cool. So yeah, please, you can buy the CDs and everything, so please get your copies. Next, besides music, let's go on to this next slide that I prepared. How to protect yourself from evil spirits. As I said earlier, changing your mindset. And today I would like to talk about some teachings from this book called Devil's Pet Peeves. It hasn't been translated in English yet. It'll be coming, I promise you. I hope so, Keiko. Anyway, Devil's Pet Peeves, it's gonna be coming soon. But in this book, in the first chapter, it talks about, I'm sure people want to see my face. What the devil talks about, or I'm sorry, what Master talks about, oh my God, what Master talks about in this book is actually enlightenment, what enlightenment is like from the devil's perspective. Usually we learn about God's teachings, Buddha's teachings from the side of the light, right? So like God gives us these teachings and all that. But what's so unique and outstanding about Master Okawa as the modern greatest savior is that he has the highest level of spiritual enlightenment, spirituality, compared to the past saviors. So he literally completely understands how even devils feel. So he gave us these 3 pointers of what the devils hate about. What makes them want to leave? What makes them uncomfortable? And these are those 3 points. Whip out your notes if you need to. Very vital, vital teachings. Or you can watch it on YouTube later. So, here are the 3 pet peeves of devils. 1, people who are honest and don't lie. 2, people who are diligent and make steady efforts. And lastly, people who are positive and live brightly. So from the devil's perspective, they hate these points. So in other terms, they love it. It's so comfortable for them to be around the people who lies, or who deceives others, or who cheats. Or in other terms, people who don't care if other people don't find out. And if you put your hands on your, on your chest, if you close your eyes, and if you ask yourself if you've lived your life without saying a single lie, you're a saint. But probably 99% of you who say that, you're liars. You're already lying the fact that you lied in the past. It's so hard not to lie. That's why it's important every time you feel that, I deceived others, I deceived myself, I used flattery, because of my weakness, what do you call it? Like when you say something to one person A and when you say something different to another person, that kind of like gossiping. Those kind of things are actually, you need to reflect on it when you noticed that you've done that. And you see, we're talking about possession today, but possession, and from a devil's perspective, it means, is the person that I'm trying to possess share the same values as I do? So if you share the same values as the devils, it's easy for them to possess. And the devils, they love lying because it's easier for them. Devils are the people who lived on earth who always took the easy way out. And if you continue living like that here on earth, you're going to attract those beings. The next one was people who are diligent and make steady efforts. So devils, they hate making efforts. But interesting thing that Master talks about in this book is that devils, they pretend to make efforts in front of other people. But when they're alone, they stop making efforts and they become lazy. But because even devils, we're all children of God, right? Even devils used to be a human being before they turned into a devil, meaning even devils have Buddha nature. Yeah? Following? Meaning, even devils feel conscience. So the reason why devils are trying to create more people who are lazy is because they feel that they know innately that it's a bad thing to be lazy. But instead of making efforts, they decide to make more friends who are lazy like them. Have you ever had that kind of, you see this in like bullying in school, right? Once you start bullying, there's a group of bullies, and then this one student being bullied eventually turns into a group of the bullying other people. It's like easier to live in that community who shares the same kind of values. So that's what's actually happening in the spiritual world. So they're trying to create more people who are lazy. How do we fight against it? Master has taught us, I'd say, 2 things to be able to keep yourself diligent. One is think big. Have goals. No matter what age you're in, have goals. Even if you're in your elder years of life, it doesn't matter. Master always talks about great past figures who always had dreams even while they were in their 70s or 80s. And people accomplish these things. It's so important to have a goal. Living life without a goal, Master once said, is you're allowing your environment to sway the direction of your life. But if you have a goal, you know which way to go. So whatever the tides, if it's coming at you, if it's supporting you, and no matter what kind of situation you're in, you're always taking a step toward that goal. So that'll keep you diligent, which will keep you away from devils. Another thing, this is in one of his newest books. It's called Twice Born. The subtitle is My Early Thoughts That Revealed My True Mission. Let me tell you, it is a Bible for us disciples and all people over the world. It's like the modern Bible of self-help. But in the first chapter, he talks about, the first chapter is called Starting from the Ordinary. And here's a sentence in this chapter. I believe the very phrase, starting from the ordinary, is words of enlightenment. I believe recognizing one's mediocrity is an important starting point when setting out on a long journey to achieve extraordinary heights. In fact, recognizing your mediocrity means knowing all your strong and weak points through careful observations. Only after thoroughly examining all of your strengths and weaknesses will you be able to understand the extent of your potential. So the reason why I brought this up is people who are easy on themselves or who quit making efforts, they're already starting to think that they're above average. And that's the scary, that's where the devils creep in. When you start thinking, oh, I'm above average. Oh, they're dumb. It's so scary. Very, very scary. And especially in the academic elites these days, I definitely feel that we see that. But that's why Master is saying, starting from the ordinary, that phrase itself is already like a phrase of a sutra. Maybe we should recite this every morning. Starting from the ordinary. Starting from the ordinary. It's accepting yourself as an ordinary person. Why? It's not belittling yourself. It's so that it leaves room for you to utilize the time that you have in the day to make correct efforts. So these 2 points, think big and starting from the ordinary. It may feel like 2 different things. That's why it's hard. But once you start living every single day in the happy science lifestyle, which I'll be talking about later on, you will be able to have these 2 different things in your mind. It'll be compatible. Trust me, it eventually will mean the same thing. True think big leads to humbleness. So that's the second pointer. The third one, since we've been off the screen for a while, let's take a fresh memory. The third one of how to protect yourself from devils and evil spirits. People who are positive and live brightly. So devils, they love pessimistic people. People who are always negative and people who are always focused on the negative side of things. But so what does being positive or living brightly mean? It doesn't mean like a shallow kind of optimism, but it's actually deeply rooted in something called invincible thinking. Meaning, from whatever setbacks or ordeals you're going through, you still never give up on yourself. That is the kind of positivity that Master is talking about. And here's another phrase from this book that really touched my heart. You're already given the best circumstances. Just do the best you can in the now. Just do the best you can in the now. And eventually, you will surpass that problem or issue. And Master is saying, courage is necessary to stand back up. So, very touching teachings. But Master is saying that the devils hate these type of people. So let's aim to be these kind of people. If devils hate them, it means that these are actually the path to become angels. So let us keep this to our hearts. And then the next point, this is the last point for the YouTubers who are watching on YouTube. After this, we're going to be doing meditation together in this room. But for on YouTube, this is what I would like to recommend in order to protect yourself from devils. Live a happy science lifestyle. Try to do it every day. Every day is the whole point. What are the happy science lifestyle? What is it? There's 5 steps. The first one is the exploration of the right mind, practicing the Fourfold Path. The second one is studying Kyoutens, which is the term for Master Okawa's books, which is like attaining wisdom. The third one is practicing self-reflection. Thank you and I'm sorry. Fourth, meditate, connecting with heaven. And fifth, pray. Pray to El Cantare, becoming a devotee. So let's look at the first part, exploration of the right mind. Practice the Fourfold Path. I hope you know the Fourfold Path at the top of your head. It's love, wisdom, self-reflection, and progress. As Master has taught us in our main sutra, Prayer to El Cantare, these are the principles for the salvation of the whole world. It's the salvation for our individual lives and for the whole country and for this whole planet and maybe even this whole universe once we start interacting with extraterrestrials. But the Fourfold Path. So you start out with giving love. Give love without expecting anything in return. Or other terms, always looking for the things that you're given and see small, you look at it smaller of the things that you've done. So don't look at yourself great and make yourself humble and be grateful for all the great things that other people have done for you. And then the second one is wisdom, which is, gaining wisdom through learning, reading books, and also experiences. Changing experience into wisdom. How many people are living their lives always focusing on how to attain wisdom through my experiences? I don't know how many there are, but in Happy Science, it really makes you think that way. Like every moment that you go through in life, every experience that you have, we always start thinking, all right, God has given me these kind of ingredients, so what's my next cooking meal that I'm gonna make? And this is my wisdom for Yushi Hagimoto's 2020. I had a wisdom food made for 2019, right? I think we all think like this. But just having that mindset of it's important to continue to accumulate wisdom through experience and learning new things will, lead you to happiness, I promise you. And then the third one is self-reflection, reflecting on the past mistakes or the mistakes that you've done during the day. And then not only that, always seeking for progress, which is if you do these first 3 steps, I promise you that you will become happy. So you spread that happiness to others. That's progress. Or you destroy the evil that's suppressing the happiness of other people. That's also progress. Justice comes into progress. But when you practice progress, the joy that you had, it increases even more. It's like, God, El Cantare, you have created this universe in such a beautiful way. I cannot, estimate how much happier I can get. That's the feeling, the happiness that you will get when you practice this Fourfold Path. Like this happiness continues to grow more and more. It's like, God, it's enough. But thank you, I'm loving it. That kind of happiness cycle starts to begin when you practice this Fourfold Path. And then the next one, I already talked about studying Kyoutens, gaining wisdom, practicing self-reflection, thank you, and I'm sorry. Simply put, if self-reflection is hard to do, if you want to do it every day, start your day out with thank you. The moment you wake up, say, thank you, God. Thank you, El Cantare. And at night, say thank you again to all the people who supported you during that day or your whole life. Thank you. Generate that feeling of gratitude. Maybe modern people aren't so used to always feeling grateful to others, but so for those types of people, I was definitely one of them. It feels like you're a hypocrite when you start saying thank you. You're like, I'm saying thank you, but I don't really mean it. I'm being told to say thank you, but I don't really know what to be thankful for. But don't give up. Don't give up. The more you continue saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, like auto-suggestion, your heart will follow. I guess it's like where your subconscious follows your conscious. But if you continue saying thank you, thank you, thank you, it will follow, and you will feel the sublime happiness from that. And then meditation. In Happy Science, what we mean by meditation is how to connect your soul to heaven. So that's a very important thing to do every day. And last but not least, most importantly, pray. Pray it al cantare. And your prayers will increase much stronger when you become a devotee. What is becoming a devotee? All right, my PowerPoint slide is in different order than I thought of. So the becoming a devotee is devoting yourself to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Buddha is El Cantare incarnate right now, Master Okawa. When Master Okawa passes away, it's the El Cantare in the spiritual world. But right now he's alive on Earth, which is a very miraculous moment. So Master Okawa is El Cantare. And then the Dharma is the teachings that he's giving us, the Kyoutens, the lectures, the ITH that you saw today. These are his teachings, Dharma. And then the Sangha is the spiritual community, which is Happy Science. So when you devote yourself to these three treasures, what happens is you become a qualified exorcist. This is the spiritual virtue that Master has taught us. Let me show you a little bit of that and a lecture excerpt from Master Okawa. It's about 2 minutes.
If you are a devotee of Happy Science, then you are basically capable of carrying out the work of an exorcist by studying the truth, reciting the Dharma of the right mind, and the prayer for exorcising evil spirits. However, since one's spiritual power increases according to their level of enlightenment, daily study and discipline will make a difference. Even if you are a lay member, if you are studying the truth well and disciplining yourself, you can remove weaker evil spirits by just reciting the Dharma of the right mind. You will be able to remove evil spirits by talking about the truth and playing the Dharma of the right mind CD as well. Devoting yourself to the three treasures and becoming connected to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha is a way to protect yourself, remove evil spirits from other people, and help you repel devils. You can exert strong powers in dealing with these spirits if you are one with the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. In this sense, your power of exorcism will strengthen when you become a devotee.
So yes, when you become a devotee, you become one with the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. It's like you're being a part of this movement of salvation that God has started. And how should I say this? It's just completely different. You'll start noticing, as Mariko said in the ITH, like these pockets that you haven't noticed before where actually evil spirits will coming into your life. And it's just it's like a win-win situation for you and your guardian spirit, and for the people around you too, because you'll become happier. So it's just like a win-win-win situation. And if the person next to you becomes happy, the person around them will be happy. So the win continues forever. It's a win situation to the ultimate degree. So I really recommend it if you feel ready. And last but not least, since there are devotees in this room and some of you watching from the whole world, what I would like to emphasize is the importance of faith when it comes to exorcism. This is a sentence from the Laws of the Sun. To have faith means to believe and worship. To believe means to feel and accept, whereas worship means to respect something greater and to humble oneself. Recently, I've been on the road trip of like 10 hours, so I've been doing a lot of reading in the car. This one, My Lover Crossed the Valley of Tears. I was rereading this book. It really touched my heart and how important it is to have faith in these times when we are truly trying to bring salvation in this chaotic world. And another match that goes with this book is actually Love, Confidence, and Courage. This is another important book. It's consisted of 6 chapters, but the 5th chapter of this book is actually a lecture on this book. And the title of the 5th chapter is On Faith and the Devil. And he says, "My lover Across the Valley of Tears describes general ideas about faith. Other than what I've discussed in that book, there's one more point I have to add. It is a topic that cannot be avoided when I talk of faith, and that is faith and the devil, the theme of this chapter." So for those who are living faithfully, who are not just living faith for yourselves, but living faith for El Cantare, living faith for trying to create a better world, devil's temptations are something that we just cannot escape from. It's already there for you to go through for the purpose of soul training. And in a way, that's the reason why the Creator still allows devils to exist. If you look at the good side of it, it helps serve as attaining wisdom for disciples. But it will come. And when it comes, what's very important is to go back to the importance of faith and worshiping. It means to respect something greater and to humble oneself. So always be humble, always accept the Lord Alcantar's words as the ultimate truth, and wait until it passes. And I'm sure Alcantare will guide you to the right direction that you were aiming for. So that's the conclusion of my YouTube part. If you're interested in learning more of the details of exorcism, you can watch this video on our YouTube channel. This is a lecture that I've done in the past on May 3rd, and that's it. So for YouTube watching people, that will be the end. And for those who can stay, it is already past the time, but if you can bear with, if you can, bear with me 20 minutes. We're gonna first listen to the whole music of this new music that Master has given us, the exorcism, which is about 8 minutes. And then after that, we're going to do a meditation to create a spiritual screen, which is about 12 minutes. And of course, we will do prayers in the beginning, the true words spoken by Buddha, so add 5 minutes to it. So if you still have 25 minutes to spare, please join us in our meditations. And so for those who watch on YouTube, thank you for watching from all of us here in this room, and have a lovely, splendid, devil-free life. Bye.